for you. Can you name top 3 rock bands of all time?
My top 3 rock bands of all time?
Yeah.
Wow. Those are always such difficult questions for me. The band that was my gateway band that introduced me to rock music, there's 2. When I was a little kid, I was into like Partridge Family and like teen stuff I'd see, cartoon music, you know. But then I heard this, 10 years old, I heard this song on my parents' radio in the car when we were going somewhere. The song's called Go All The Way by the Raspberries. And anybody who's ever heard that song knows that it starts out with a very distorted, heavy guitar riff, and there's really busy drums, and then it breaks into this beautiful melodic part, and then slams back in. And that immediately interested me at 10 years old, because I never heard anything like that. So I became like this crazy, at 10, this crazy fan of the Raspberries, and I went to the record store and I bought their albums, and then that was like for about a year that lasted. And then I was walking home from junior high school, and a friend of mine said, we walk by a record store every day, and he said to me, hey, I'm gonna pop in the record store and buy an album. You wanna come in with me? I said, yeah. I said, what do you get? He said, I'm getting a record by this band called Kiss. And this was 1976, and I'd never heard of them. I was 12. And he went in the bin, and he's like, so I said, what? Those guys look crazy. Like, what's the deal there? He goes, they're really cool. He goes, their new album at the time was a record called Rock and Roll Over. And he said, I don't know how this is because it just came out, but if you want to check them out, get the album before this because I know that one is great. And for Kiss fans, you know the one before that is Destroyer. So I bought Destroyer, took it home, put the needle on the record, looked at the cover, Detroit Rock City, it was like game over. The Raspberries were wearing leisure suits on the cover of their album, and there's Kiss like this, and I was all in. So I immediately became like, those were 2 super important bands for me. And then from there, it went to Aerosmith and Van Halen and Black Sabbath and all that sort of stuff. But, and UFO, who I love to this day, one of my all-time favorite bands. But it started, I got the bug by hearing the Raspberries at 10, and then just went completely over the cliff a year or 2 later when I was introduced to Kiss. So those are 2 really important bands, but above and beyond that, it's, you know, it's UFO, it's Van Halen, it's Aerosmith. Aerosmith was the first band after Kiss that I let into my orbit. Because up till like, after I discovered Kiss for the first year or 2, I couldn't listen to any other bands because they would be a threat to Kiss in my young mind. Like, there is no other band. They can't have competition. All bands must stop existing. And then after a couple of years, I'm like, all right. And I got Aerosmith Bootleg, the live album, and I carved out a little section on my wall that wasn't a Kiss poster, and I put the Aerosmith. That was a big move. Like, okay, I'll let other bands in. So, Aerosmith, Kiss, Raspberries, very, very important bands to me. Well, more.